Center. And in this video, we are still discussing this very interesting topic of how to boost our immune system. This is times where everybody, that's something on our minds. We're trying to look at our health and our family's health. So I'm going to give you an idea, or I'm going to show you something that actually helps boost your immune system. You might be familiar with this thing, but you might not know how it can actually boost your immune system. And that is fasting. Yes, you heard me right, fasting. So there's tons of different fastings out there, right? You've heard of the intermittent fasting and the bone broth fastings and the water fasting and all that. So how does fasting help boost your immune system? So let me just take a little step back and tell you how this actually, kind of came up to me. We have a dog, we have a pet, and a lot of you pet owners can relate with me with this thing. We have a small Westie, he's a dog, and when past weekend, he was not feeling well. So we had put a bowl of food out for him, and he was not feeling well. We could see that he was not feeling the way he was. So what did he do? Well, for the whole day, about 24 hours, he didn't touch his bowl of food. He didn't eat anything. Now, he's done that in the past too, so we know that, okay, there's something going on with him, because we know that the very next day in the morning, he was back to his bright self. He came back and finished his bowl of food. Of course, there was some new food, but he did finish his food. So that's an innate thing that actually animals do. And I'm sure the way I said, most of you pet owners may know that sometimes when your pet is not feeling well, they will avoid or abstain from food, right? So this is something that's been going on for generations, for just as we evolved. Food was not always available. So sometimes, the humans would go without food for a period of time. And what that did to the body was it actually helped reset, helped correct certain things, gave the body a little break. So it allows the body to do what it's supposed to do the right way. Now, fasting is something that you've heard a lot about, right? You know that it has tons of different benefits. There's things like it helps lower inflammation, helps boost your metabolism, and of course the thing is that it helps reduce fat, or it helps with your waistline, and that's one of the big things that made it popular, right? But fasting also has a ton of other benefits. Now, a few other things are things like, it can lower blood pressure, can help balance sugar levels because it helps with insulin resistance, helps take care of your cholesterol levels, HDL, LDL, triglycerides, all those things kind of come into balance when you actually take food away from your body. So there's other factors. There's certain things with fasting, where there's of course the kind of fasting that could boost your immune system, and then there's some that you might not want to do just yet. Fasting is amazing. All sorts of fastings are amazing, but the ones that can help boost your immune system are things like your intermittent fasting. This is the most popular one. Everyone knows about intermittent fasting, right? This is where you are not eating for a particular window, right? So it's the 16-8. Now, what I mean by that is for 16 hours in a day, you're not going to eat anything. You can drink water, you can have some, liquids and stuff that way, but you're not putting a meal, no calories in your body. Now, for that 8-hour window, this is where you consume your calories. This is where you put in those calories that your body requires. Now, of course, you have to be a little careful what you're putting in, because you heard me talk about how we're stuck in isolation with, what are we stuck with? High carb and high processed foods and all that. So you don't want to indulge in those right now. This is where you want to at least put in, again, if you can be a little more keto, keto friendly type, you can do that, or at least put in a little more protein. Protein is now all your immune system. There's things called immunoglobulins. You may have heard of that, right? Immunoglobulins are actually proteins. So for right now, you do want to consume a little bit more protein. Don't just try the whole ketos all the time. Keto is wonderful, but if you consume a little bit more, good quality protein, it helps build those immunoglobulins. Now, why did I talk about this thing? So the way I said, I did a little bit of research to find out why and where and how the fasting can help with this deal. So I came across this research by MIT biologists. They say that when you take away food, when you take away any kind of calories from your body for about a period of 19 to 24 hours, your body goes into something called apoptosis. Now, apoptosis is where it's cell death. It's a programmed cell death. And there's something also called autophagy. Now, autophagy is where your body recycles old damaged cells, and it kind of helps or makes way for new cells to come about. So what's happening with this whole part is they say that when you calorie restrict, your body, or especially your gut, gets a little break. And now we also know that about 80% of our immune system lies in our gut. So when you take food away, you're almost giving your gut time to calm down, heal, regenerate certain things, and then when you put in some of the calories back in there, there are certain things called stem cells that actually regenerate and regrow back into healthy, not just cells for the gut, but also immune cells. So that's one of the big things about why fasting can actually be very beneficial at these times to help boost your immune system. Now, there's also certain fastings that you do not want to try just yet. They're wonderful, but again, the way I said, at this time when your body is already in some form of stress, you don't want to throw too much stress, and that is something like a water fast, where you may have heard that where you're not consuming any calories, but you're only drinking water for about 1, 2, 3 days. That can be a little more strenuous to the body right now, and I would not suggest you doing that, because again, when you're doing some of these fastings, what actually happens is, as you fast, the white blood cell count goes down. Yes, sounds kind of crazy. I know we're trying to boost the immune system, but bear with me. Your white cell counts go down because what's happening is, the way I said, it's recycling. It's getting rid of some of the old cells, some of the damaged cells. So the white cell count goes down. Now, when you bring in those calories back into your diet, what happens? The stem cells, as I mentioned, kind of help regenerate this white blood cell count again. So your white count actually goes a little higher than where it was. And that is what we need right now, because that helps keep your immune system functioning better, right? So as I mentioned, there was just that one, intermittent fasting is just one of them. Water fasting is something we don't want to do, but there's other simple things that you might try. Now I'll tell you 2 of them that might be something interesting that you can do sitting at home right now, right? The one is something called fast mimicking. What do I mean by that? You're not completely starving yourself, or you're not taking all the calories away. You're reducing your caloric intake in a day by about 30 to 50%. So let's say a standard, American diet we're based off of a 2,000 calories a day kind of diet. So you're reducing them by at least a half. So 1,000 calories a day. Now, when I say that, you want to make sure you're not doing a lot of the carbs and the simple sugars and any of those, inflammation inducing things, because again, we know that a lot of times these things will also trigger, you heard me talk about that, your sugar levels, which can lead to, from your pre-diabetes into diabetes levels, hypertension, right, and heart disease and stuff. So all those metabolic issues you want to try and keep down. So at least put in the good foods. Eat the rainbow, as you've heard me talk about. So a lot of fruits and vegetables, colorful fruits and vegetables, because they actually help trigger a lot of different detox processes in the body as well. So that was fast mimicking, where you're doing about 30 to 50% of your calories, or you're cutting them out and just eating those kind of things for the day. The other one is also something called an alternate day fasting. Now, what that means is just exactly what it says. Fast every alternate day. So you fast for one day. Same thing, you can try, the way I said, not a complete water fast, but reduce your calories to very minimal. On the next day, go back to your normal calories again, nothing crazy, and then another day of, fasting again. So any of these kind of fasts are wonderful for the body. As I said, you're giving your body a little break. You're allowing the body to say, okay, fine, let's calm certain things down and regenerate and rebuild certain new things that you want. And especially the way I said, your immune cells or your white blood cell counts and all those things are actually regenerated quite a bit when you do some fasting. A lot of research out there, so look it up if you're interested in finding out more about that. So I hope some of this information has helped you. And again, the way I said, try some of this fasting. We're indoors, we're at home, right? I know we have a lot of those high calorie foods that are sitting around looking at us, but try and avoid some of those things. But do it, see how it does. It'll help boost your immune system, but not just that. As we had talked about some of those latent pre-metabolic disorders that a lot of people are facing nowadays, it'll help kind of slow some of those as well. So, the pre-diabetes, your pre-hypertensive, heart disease issues and all that. So try these, see how it works, and any questions or comments, post them below. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.